If you were a wild animal, then your first rule would be to stay away from humans. Because humans are a species who have changed almost every ecosystem on Earth. However, the story doesn't end there.
Imagine a huge creature in the depths of the ocean, injured, exhausted, and on the verge of death. A man floats in front of him. He didn't run away.
He remained near the man. The creature that could kill a man in an instant became strangely calm. Why? The answer to this question is not so simple. In the life of wild animals, the opportunity for wrong decisions is very small. One mistake, and life is over. So trust is not in their nature.
Every sound, every smell, every shadow is a signal of survival to them.
They know the predator never comes with warning, so suspicion is their greatest weapon. That is their millions of years of learning, and humans are on that list. We have cut down forests. We have changed the course of rivers. We have cast nets in the sea. We have reduced the habitat of animals. Yet some events change all ideas. Sometimes a whale, sometimes a dolphin, and sometimes an elephant comes close to humans. It's like a mystery of nature. Are they really asking for help? Or are we misunderstanding? This is not just a question of emotion. This is also a question of science, and the answer is not yet fully known. Researchers have been documenting such events for years. Some have been caught on camera. Some come from eyewitness accounts. All are equally astonishing. But one thing needs to be made clear at the beginning. Not all wild animals behave like this. Rather, most animals run away when they see humans. This is normal behavior. So when an animal comes to people on its own, that's where researchers' attention goes. Because this is not a common occurrence. It's an exception.
Exceptions in nature also have value. They sometimes raise new scientific questions, and those questions open the way to new discoveries. Today's story is not a fairy tale. It is based on a real incident where wild animals made unexpected decisions.
But remember one thing. We can't read animals' minds. There's no way to know for sure what they're thinking. We can only observe behavior.
And that behavior often surprises us because it doesn't match our expectations.
That's where the mystery begins.
On this journey, we will go to the sea. We will go deep into the forest. We will also reach the African savanna. And we will search for only one answer.
Why do some animals, who have no reason to trust humans, come towards humans in times of crisis? That is today's inquiry. This story will contain science, real events, and some moments that will seem truly unbelievable. So let's start with the incident where a huge whale in the depths of the ocean chose humans as its last refuge.
December, the cold waters of the Pacific Ocean. In the distance, in the gap between the waves, a huge shadow floated. But something was not right.
At first glance, it seemed that the whale was just swimming slowly. But as we got closer, we realized that its body was wrapped in numerous thick ropes. The ropes were part of the heavy fishing gear. With each movement, they were tightening. The whale was slowly weakening.
A humpback whale's strength is incredible. A single blow from its tail can overturn a small boat. Yet it wasn't fighting.
He was just floating, breathing slowly.
With every moment, his time to live was decreasing, and help was needed now. The rescue team proceeded cautiously. They knew that one wrong decision could put everyone's lives in danger.
Because a frightened whale doesn't want to attack anyone. However, the slightest movement of its huge body can cause a fatal accident.
The divers went under the water. They had a special kind of sharp knife in their hands. One by one, the work of cutting the ropes began. The first rope was cut, then the second, then the third. But there was still a lot of work to be done. The sea was calm, yet the tension was high, because no one knew what the whale would do next. The strange thing was, the whale was almost still. He didn't suddenly run away. He didn't even strike. He was just waiting. The divers were circling around his body. They were slowly untangling each knot. Time seemed to have stopped. The ropes had cut into his fins. In some places, the skin had been damaged. The pain must have been intense. Yet, he did not panic. This calm behavior later became the subject of discussion by many researchers.
After about an hour, the last tangle was cut. The heavy ropes slowly descended to the seabed. Now he is free. Before him is the open sea. If he wanted, he could disappear in an instant. But what happened surprised everyone present. The whale didn't just go away. He came back again. He slowly circled the divers. There was no rush. There was no sign of fear. Just a calm pace. According to some witnesses, the whale came very close and touched the divers one by one. The meaning of this behavior is still not known for sure. Was it gratitude or just a coincidence? Science still hasn't provided a definitive answer, but the mystery doesn't end there. The whale incident could have been an exception, but scientists have documented other such incidents. This time, our destination is the warm seas of Hawaii. Here lives one of the calmest marine animals on Earth. This is a manta ray. When it swims with its wings spread, it feels like it is flying underwater. Manta rays generally avoid humans. They may be curious, but rarely approach on their own. However, divers have occasionally seen a strange sight. An injured manta ray slowly approaches them. Sometimes a large fishing hook gets stuck in its gills. Sometimes a thread gets wrapped around its body. In this situation, it does not move quickly. Rather, it floats stationary in front of the diver. In some cases, the manta ray slowly turns its body to clearly expose the injured part. Such behavior is not normal. Wild animals usually become more alert when they are injured. Many experienced divers carefully unhooked the hook. A few minutes later, the manta ray disappeared back into the deep sea. Now let's talk about dolphins. Dolphins are one of the most intelligent animals on Earth. They have complex languages. They have long-standing social relationships. They hunt in groups. They even help each other. So, when a dolphin approaches a human boat, researchers pay attention. In several documented cases, dolphins have been found to have fishing line tightly entangled in their fins. He didn't run away. Rather, he was standing almost still on the water, as if waiting. When the man carefully cut the thread, the dolphin slowly started swimming again. Now, the question is, did he know that people would help him? Or was it just a coincidence? Scientists say, here, we need to look at the evidence before emotions, because each incident may have a different interpretation. Perhaps the animal was exhausted from the pain. Perhaps it had no more strength left to escape, so it remained still. But still, one thing cannot be denied. These events force us to ask new questions. This time, we are leaving the sea and setting foot in the vast savanna region of Africa. Here live some of the most intelligent land animals on Earth. They are not only strong, but also have extraordinary memories. That animal is an elephant. Their family bond is very deep. A herd stays together year after year. Wild elephants generally avoid humans because history has taught them that humans are not always safe. However, wildlife rangers have occasionally observed a different type of behavior. Some wounded elephants come very close to the ranger's vehicle. They don't attack. They don't run away either. Some elephants had wire snares in their legs. Others had deep wounds and were having trouble walking. Researchers believe that some of the elephants received treatment from rangers when they were young. If they were injured again years later, they might not see the same type of vehicle as a threat. This is not proof that they knew specific people. However, it is difficult to rule out the role of memory. Now let's go to the coast of New Zealand. Another incredible incident happened there. A small fur seal pup suddenly jumped onto a fisherman's boat because behind him was a group of orcas, one of the most skilled predators in the sea. The cub did not try to reach the shore. Instead, it chose the boat as a safe haven. Orcas can't get on boats. Maybe this simple fact saved the calf's life. This is not just one incident. Many marine animals take refuge in boats, jetties, or floating structures in times of danger. Sometimes they even stay near surfers, not seeing humans as protectors, but rather as part of a safe environment. This distinction is very important. Is an animal trusting humans or just taking advantage of the situation? Scientists say these two things are not the same. Although they appear to be the same from the outside, the causes may be completely different. And here begins the biggest scientific debate. Can animals really understand our intentions? To find the answer to this question, scientists first look at the brains of animals, because there is always a reason behind behavior. Humpback whales, dolphins, and elephants. These three animals have one big thing in common. They live long. Their memories are strong. They form complex social relationships and can remember familiar things even after many years. Studies have shown that these animals try to help injured members of their group. Sometimes they stay with their deceased partner for long periods of time. This behavior indicates a deep social bond. So, some scientists believe that this advanced social intelligence sometimes helps people make new decisions, even in unfamiliar situations. But here, it is important to be careful, because humans have a natural tendency. We easily find money. If an animal looks at us,
We think it might be trying to say something, but in reality, it may not be.
In science, this is called humanizing. That is, explaining animal behavior with human feelings.
So, researchers are very careful about each incident. They look for evidence before feelings. There is another truth. The stories we hear are very rare. Most injured animals never come to people.
Countless animals silently disappear into the laws of nature. No one knows their stories.
That is why the events that come before us are so important, because they are exceptional. Yet, these exceptions remind one thing. Nature is not yet fully understood. Maybe he wasn't expressing gratitude. Maybe he was just relieved from pain. Maybe a dolphin didn't come looking for help. It just chose the path of least risk. But the result is the same. For a few moments, two creatures from two different worlds stood in the same place. On one side was a wild beast of infinite power. On the other side was a man. In that moment, not fear, not conflict, but a rare opportunity for coexistence arose. We may never know what those creatures were thinking, but one thing is certain. One of nature's deepest mysteries still awaits us.